Welcome. Welcome back to Four Wolves Takes, where your boy, Artis Woods, will bring you four fresh Minnesota Timberwolves takes. Y'all know why I have the 50 burger up. I don't even want to put it down. I haven't had a chance to talk about this yet. Y'all know why the 50 burger is up. All right? Today on Four Wolves Takes, I will be discussing that just a touch. I will be discussing the fact that the Wolves only have 2 regular season games left before the play-in and then the playoffs begin. Such a beautiful time to be a Wolves fan, a basketball fan. The Wolves have had one of the greatest regular seasons they have ever had in franchise history, right? Cat is coming back. We got to talk a bit about that. And they're on the verge of locking up a top 2 seed in the West. There's a ton to get into today on Four Wolves Takes. But without further ado, I got to talk about it. I got to talk about it, man. The 50 burger. Let's get the first take up, man. The 50 burger. That extra point at the end, he was at 49. He got a layup to get to 51 to surpass that 50-point mark. That's like the extra bacon or pickles, lettuce, cheese, whatever you like extra on your burger, tomatoes, whatever. That's what that was. That extra just touch on your burger that's like, yo, this burger is A1. That's what that was. Ant's 51-point game was the best performance of his regular season career. Not playoffs, just regular season. A sensational performance by Anthony Edwards. And I was at the game. A weird game. Very, very weird game to start. I mean, the Wolves came out and missing shots. The Wizards came out making every shot. I mean, they shot like 70% from the tray to start the game. Kispert making everything. Jordan Poole making everything. They're getting whatever they want in the lane. I mean, the Wizards looked unstoppable. I mean, these guys was looking like the 2017 Warriors for a second. Like, I'm like, yo, what is going on tonight? I mean, they cannot miss. And lo and behold, the Wolves being who they are this season, overcoming the early adversity, which they've done countless times this season, got it together. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Anthony Edwards had an amazing game, but Nickeil Alexander-Walker really was a guy that got the momentum going back in the Wolves' favor. Some steals, corner threes, dunks. He played sensational, ended the game with around, I believe, 23 points. Played out of his mind. And while you're sitting there, the Wolves are catching up, and Anthony's balling. He's being Anthony Edwards. It's like you don't expect anything less. But it's like he gets to like 28. And you look up and it's like, yo, Anthony Edwards already got like 28 and it's like the third quarter or like the first few minutes in the third quarter. This is interesting because being at the game, I really felt his presence, but I was really looking at Nickeil Alexander-Walker because he was going crazy for a period of time. And you just saw Anthony Edwards slowly throughout the night climbing in the point total. Then you look up, it's like, wait a minute, Ant got 40. And he turning it up. Threes, fadeaways off the glass, the turnaround shimmy, the Kobe or Jordan shimmy, whichever one you want to go with in the post, fade. Yo, he got it going. Then you look up, dang, Anthony Edwards got 45. Let me look up his career high in points because he's got to be nearing it. Types it up while I'm there. Yo, Anthony Edwards' career high. 49 points. Oh, he's going to pass that tonight. He's going to pass that tonight. He's going for 50 tonight. Oh, it's going to happen. And Coach Finch, being a great coach that he is, shout out to him for leaving a young player out there because things like this are really big for young players, man. They're big. They're big for older players as well, but they're really big for young players, man. You got a shot at 50. Leave him out there. Let him go get 50. Sure enough, shot a 3, missed the 3 because he was at 47. He missed the 3. It's like, all right, Ant, just take a couple layups. Gets the first layup. Gets the second layup. And I'm just like, this is sensational. You've seen his game on full display on both sides of the basketball. Maybe the greatest live performance I've ever seen. And I've seen Kobe Bryant. I've seen LeBron James. I've seen Anthony Davis. I've seen Kyrie Irving, who put on the show. He might be number 2 because Kyrie was insane. I'm not going to lie. Like Kyrie being number 2, now Ant being number 1. But just watching that live, man, was just incredible. And it was a game, again, where the Wizards could have been overlooked. You got the Nuggets the next night, and it's like, yo, We think about them, maybe. Nobody's going to say that, right? Nobody's going to say that, but it's possible that coming out down, I think it was 5-19, might be thinking about the Nuggets the next night, But they weathered the storm. They got it going. It was chippy early. Naz Reid got ejected. Rudy, it was a little chippy with Rudy at one point. Weathered the storm, smoked them in the second half, smoked them in the fourth quarter, and walked away with a dub with Anthony Edwards going for 51 points. It is the greatest regular season performance I've seen him have, especially with the level of importance, the things that were on the line. You don't want to lose that game and then go into Denver and play Denver right after that. And now you're a full game behind. The level of importance was there. I think that maybe the next closest may have come this season where he freaking hit his head on the backboard against the Indiana Pacers. So that might be in the conversation as well. But when you talk about 51, 7, and 6, I don't know how you say that's not the greatest regular season performance out of Anthony Edwards so far in his career. Sensational game. They needed the win, and you couldn't ask for more from Anthony Edwards. Take number 2. Like I said, we got to talk about the fact that Karl Anthony Towns is coming back. And he's not just coming back. He's coming back at the perfect time. It is the perfect time. Number one, not going to lie to y'all. While I was watching the Nuggets game, I couldn't help but think to myself, as the Wolves were struggling to get buckets in the fourth quarter, missed shot after missed shot, couple turnovers, and the Nuggets just they turned it up and closed the game. I couldn't help but think to myself, man, we could really use Cat right now. Could come in and give you buckets, give you another 20 to 30, maybe even 40 to 50, depending on if he's feeling it or not. Just another guy, second best scorer on the team, second best player on the team, the number 2 option, could come in here and really put a stamp on this game. We've seen him close games. We've seen Ant close games. We've seen Naz Reid close games. But Karl Anthony Towns, his effect on the game, both offensively and this season defensively, cannot be understated. And in a series against the Nuggets and a series against OKC and these high-level teams in the West, Karl Anthony Towns is going to be needed. Even for the first few rounds, Karl Anthony Towns is needed. And the reason why I say it's perfect timing is because Shams just came out with the report and said that he will be back for the Hawks game. Now you have 2 games to kind of get your feet back under you to end the regular season, right? And I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but I'm assuming he'll come back on the minutes restriction. Coach Finch may bring him in the starting lineup right away or may bring him off the bench just to start, just so, again, he could get his feet wet and get his feet up underneath him. And then you'll be a top 2 seed in the West, I'm assuming. And you get to sit back and rest a couple more days as you wait for the results of the play-in tournament. So you get to get your feet wet, and on top of getting your feet wet, you can also get more rest right before the start of the playoffs, opposed to, say he came back right game 1 of the playoffs. It's like, all right, we just throwing him back out there without, getting those couple runs in games that are important, but they're not playoff games. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to just have those 2 games under your belt to just kind of get the feel back, get back in rhythm, get the chemistry back down in those 2 games as much as you possibly can, and then get some more rest going into the playoffs. I think it's perfect timing. I'm so glad Karl Anthony Towns is back. You were going to need him for a run. Coach Finch said he looks amazing. I cannot wait to see Cat back on the court. Obviously, Anthony Edwards and the rest of the team is geeked as well. It's going to be great to have him back out here, getting buckets for the Wolves on this playoff push. He's needed, and he's coming back at the perfect time. Perfect for the Wolves and perfect for himself, in the process of him recovering from this meniscus tear. Perfect timing. Now, for this third take, I got to be the bearer of some bad news, okay? I'm normally a very positive person. If you've been watching 4 Wolves takes, I'm normally 100% positive all the time. I try to be positive. Because, number one, the Wolves have given me opportunity to be positive with how well they've played this season. But also because, I see so much negativity, man. People want to be down. People want to, they'll be one and done. And, we haven't seen this much success in forever. And I just don't believe. And just get out of the first round. And I don't like to feed into that because that's not the type of person I am. But what I will say is this third take right here. The Wolves' late game issues will cost them playoff games. it will cost them some playoff games. Like at this point, it just needs to be said. The Timberwolves clutch net rating since Christmas is a negative 28.5. It is the second worst in the NBA. And it is clear and it is apparent that this is still a problem. It's still an issue, man. And it's been an issue for a while. You've had the second half of the season for the most part to kind of work on it, to kind of tweak it, to kind of fix it to the best of your abilities. The team has had great moments in the clutch where they've been down and they've come back. You know, where Anthony Edwards has closed games, Naz Reid has closed games, guys have made big plays, steals, and closed games at the free throw line, things of that nature. But then you have moments like against the Denver Nuggets, man, where you play a team like that just knows how to close. They got Jokic in the post, and it's like, I know what I'm doing with this basketball dang near before I catch it. I'm going to that corner. I'm going to the weak side corner. I'm throwing the ball behind my back door, because I'm at the top of the elbow, right? You know, I'm kicking the ball out because they double team. Now here comes, you know, Murray with the screen or running off me. I'm just handing the ball off to him. I forget even what that action is called, but they run it the best, right? They get so many easy buckets down the stretch, and they force the opposing team to play tense, because if we don't score, they're definitely scoring. That's a championship team, man. That's a championship team. And one thing that it showed me with the Wolves is that, man, this is going to cost us some games. Now, I'm not going to go as far as to say it's going to cost us a series yet. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because I still have faith that this team could go to a championship. I do believe that. They have the talent. They have the roster, right? They have very good coaching. They got Anthony Edwards, man. Like, I'm not about to say they can't, but it's a problem, and they haven't been able to fix it. And when you go up against teams that can close, you're going to drop a couple games. I'm hoping they can still figure this out. I'm hoping that, you know, Anthony Edwards can maybe pick it up in the fourth come playoff time. Karl Anthony Towns, again, coming back, another game that could close, another guy that can close games. They can figure this thing out, but it's hard to figure things out in the playoffs when you haven't really figured it out in the regular season. So putting it out there now, fans, don't be shocked. Media, don't be shocked. Analysts, don't be shocked. It's going to happen at some point in the playoffs. You're going to drop a couple games because the Wolves struggle to close games when, you know, in the fourth. It is what it is. But I still believe this team can make a run. I do. I'm just not going to ignore the issue anymore. I can't. I brought it up before, then I started to gloss over it, but now it's just so apparent, man. I can't. They will lose some games due to not being able to close games the correct way in the fourth quarter. Comes with the territory. They have a ton of things going to their advantage. And they have one flaw, and that is probably their biggest flaw, I would say. So it's going to happen. Last but not least, last take of the day. Win these last two games. Win these last two games. I've heard fans, you know, people come out and be like, maybe they should, you know, lose one of these games on purpose and try to get certain seeding so that they don't have to play this team and that team. And maybe try to avoid the Suns or avoid the Kings or try to avoid forget all that. Like I said on my previous episode of Four Wolves Takes, another podcast. Don't want to plug that in here, but that's another podcast. Anyway, like I've said before on Four Wolves Takes, listen, man, we are not afraid of anyone. We are not scared of anyone. The Wolves are capable of beating anyone in the conference. So you don't want to send a message to the locker room that, hey, we gonna take this game off. We gonna, you know, so that we could play this team instead of that team. No, you want this team going into the playoffs with the utmost confidence that they can beat any team. They can beat any team. It don't matter who comes into Target Center because all of them got to come through Target Center, except for probably Denver, as long as you lock up the 2 seed. And even Denver, you know, well, they wouldn't have to win any games in Target Center technically. But still, you get the point, right? Y'all get the point, right? Most of these teams got to come through Target Center, right, and win at least a game, right? You want to have the right message in that locker room. Y'all got to come through us. It don't matter who you are. We could beat any of you. Right. On top of that, again, the number 1 seed is technically still up for grabs. You can still get the number 1 seed. And out of the teams that there are to play, you know, in the play-in, you know, you're going to see either probably the Kings or the Phoenix Suns. And both of those teams are going to pose some sort of issue. Either you're dealing with Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, like I've stated earlier, maybe possibly your toughest matchup, or you got to deal with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. Now, luckily, the Suns don't really finish games that well either. So that's nice, which is why I didn't say they were the toughest team to play, because they have the same issue that the Wolves have. But at the same time, it's Devin Booker, it's Kevin Durant, and it's Bradley Beal. So, I mean, no matter what, you're going to get a tough draw, which is why go into this playoffs with confidence, with as much momentum as you could probably get, so you can go on this playoff run, man. Again, we are not afraid of anybody in the Western Conference. I think it should stay that way. That should be the message. We are trying to win these games. We're not like other teams that want to try to tank and try to get this matchup. It does not matter. They have proven they can beat anybody in the league this year, and I think they should stand on that to end this season. That is all I have for you guys today on 4 Wolves Takes. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. The team is, even though they lost to Denver, heating up at the right time, man. Again, a 50 burger? 51? Well, I might as well do this. Anyway, man, thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of 4 Wolves Takes. I will catch y'all next time.